I was sitting in class today when I had a thought. Describe a square in the most simple terms possible. And I came up with this. A square is a shape with 4 sides and 4 corners. And I'm going to leave that up there for the rest of the video, because for the purposes of this thought experiment, that will be our definition of a square. But I can hear your complaints from a mile away, rushing down to the comments to type, but there's one shape that easily disproves this, and we all know what it is. The trapezium. A trapezium meets all of these requirements, and therefore, under our current rules, would be considered a square. So obviously, we need to make some changes to the rules. And the rule I decided to add is that each pair of lines has to run parallel to each other, and that solves our little problem here. Except, now we must address the shape in the room, the rectangle. Even with our newly added rule, the rectangle would still be considered a square. But we can solve this in the same way as the trapezium, by adding a new rule, and the rule I decided to add is that each pair must be the same length. But then, even with these rules, the parallelogram would still be considered a square. And with 3D shapes, so would the cube. So the simple way to solve this, you would think, would be to just add more rules to the definition. But then, at the end of the day, we have added at least 4 rules by now to separate these guys from being squares. So if we kept adding more rules, that would completely defeat the purpose of the original question, which was to define a square in the simple terms. And so to me at least, it seems quite impossible to define a square. And one may get so confused, it would make their head spin and they'd fall unconscious.